Morning campers, welcome back to the channel on what was supposed to be a good day here at Darley Moor. However, things have gone tits up. I've had a bit of a setback. So let me tell you what's happened. Right, if you've been following along, you will know that I've just returned from a break from flying. My licence is due for revalidation in a couple of weeks' time, and at the moment I've not got enough hours in my logbook, so I'm up against it to try and get the hours in my logbook so I can revalidate my licence. In a previous video, I said this: I've got to fly 6 hours in the next 10 weeks. I only need to have a problem with the aircraft that grounds me, and all of a sudden that 6 hours could become an issue. Kind of wish I hadn't said that now, because that was a bit of a premonition. Things went wrong today. Last week I had a couple of days off, the weather was absolutely fantastic, and I managed to smash out just shy of 5 hours. So I've got an hour and 5 minutes left to get in my logbook. The airfield is absolutely buzzing. It was going to be a perfect day to go flying. I had an hour and 15-minute route plan that would have ticked me boxes, got my licence signed, revalidated, all good to go for another 2 years. So dragged the aircraft out of the hangar, checked it over, everything looked fine, did my daily inspection, pre-flight inspection, started the engine, started first pull, sounded sweet as a nut, taxied to the runway, did my pre-flight checks, full power check, and then all of a sudden, me, sorry for the F-bomb, it deserved it, all of a sudden things got very, very loud. It felt like somebody had just pulled off my headset. It scared the living crap out of me, if I'm honest. Fairly obvious something catastrophic had happened, and I wasn't going flying. So I folded it back up, taxied it over to the side of the runway, and there it is. So, bit of a problem. Let me show you what's happened with it. Oh, you can see this, right? I don't think you need to be any sort of mechanical genius to see what is wrong with this picture here. So yeah, the exhaust manifold has basically failed and let go and detached itself from the cylinder head, which would explain why things got very, very loud all of a sudden. So the weld around the top here has just given up the ghost, and this just has blown out. So bit of a problem. Obviously can't go flying with it in this condition. However, having said that, when I've sat back and thought about this, I am counting my lucky stars that this happened on the ground and not in the air, because this exhaust manifold is free to move around. In fact, if I show you, it's now held on by one single rubber vibration isolation mount on there. So this is quite free to move about, as you can see. So given this is free to move about, I'm fairly confident that had this have happened in the air, given an airflow of 50 to 60 miles an hour that way and the propeller sucking air that way, that this manifold would quite feasibly have come into contact with the spinning prop. Obviously that would have been bad. The manifold would have been ripped off, God knows where that would have gone. The exhaust would have shattered into a million pieces, God knows where those pieces would have gone. Knowing my luck, some of those pieces would have made their way north and gone through the wing, so it just would have been bad. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I guess that's the importance of doing a full power run up before you take to the air. So I'm counting my lucky stars, but I have still got an issue. I've got 1 hour, 5 minutes left to get in my logbook, and now my premonition has come true, and I've not got an aircraft to do it in. Problem. I need to either see if I can get this fixed, I haven't got any welding skills whatsoever, or see if I can get a replacement manifold. So I don't know where this is going from here. Stick around.
Clear prop.
Right guys, welcome back. It's the next day. I'm back in the man cave, and I've been having a look online to see if I can get myself a replacement muffler for my engine. Now the problem I've got is that Corsair engines, whilst I think they are fantastic engines, they are nowhere near as common as engines such as Vitarazi. If I needed to get a spare part for a Vitarazi engine, I could get that today, wouldn't be a problem. However, Corsair engines are a little bit more exclusive, shall we say, a little bit rarer. I've not been able to find any retailers in the UK that stock Corsair engine parts. If there's anybody watching this video that does know of anywhere in the UK that stocks Corsair engine parts, please leave me a comment down below, because I would love to hear from you. However, Corsair, I should say, you cannot buy the parts from Corsair directly either. They're based in Italy. However, there is a company in France called Mecafly. I'll put their details in the description down below. I'll put something on the screen as well. They're based in France, and they stock paramotor engine parts, including parts for Corsair engines. I've used Mechafly in the past. They've normally been really good. They list a full range of parts for the Corsair Black Bull engine, and normally payment's pretty straightforward and delivery has been pretty good as well. So I've been on their website and I've had a look, and they do list the exhaust system, the manifold and the muffler, or you can get the complete system. I've gone ahead and I've ordered one. Now I've got a problem. If you go on their website for their muffler, complete muffler system, it says on order delay from 2 weeks. Now obviously that's from 2 weeks, it could be longer than 2 weeks. And then when it is available, it's got to go from Italy, it's got to go to France, and then Mechafly have got to ship it over to me here in the UK. The other issue I've got is looking at the pictures of the more recent mufflers. This muffler, the picture here, it's the same as the system that's on my engine. It's got this flexible coupling in the middle of the manifold. Corsair have gone away from that, and they are now producing manifolds that have got a ball joint and clamp system, which I think is probably better. But even if this thing does arrive in time, I don't know if it's going to be compatible with what I've already got. So I don't know if this is going to arrive in time, and I am staring down the barrel of having to retake my general skills test. That in itself has raised some comments in my previous video, and it's divided opinion. There have been some people that have basically said that having to retake your general skills test, if you have to do that, not really something that you should be so fearful of. If anything, it's probably a good thing, but it's a good way of making sure that your flying skills are up to scratch. In fact, I had one comment which was quite extreme, and that comment, because I'd mentioned that I was a bit fearful that if I had to retake my GST, I wasn't confident that I would pass it. And I had one comment from somebody that said, well, if that's the way you are feeling about your flying ability, then should you be flying in the first place? A bit drastic, but I get the logic behind that comment. I do understand what that individual was saying. I have listened to the comments and taken the advice, and I have booked myself an hour's instruction with an instructor at Micro Training, just so that I can make sure that my flying skills are still up to scratch. There were also quite a few comments though from people like me that said the thought of having to retake their GST would fill them with dread, so I'm clearly not alone. But yeah, I've ordered it. When it'll arrive, God knows. I just hope it arrives in time. If it doesn't arrive in time, then I've got issues and I need to try and come up with something else, some other way of getting myself out of this problem. So I don't know what's going to happen next. Stay tuned.